Snow pressed softly against the windows of Maya Thompson's childhood home as the family gathered around the long wooden Christmas table. Glasses clinked, forks hovered, and the warmth of roasted ham filled the room. Maya sat near the end, fingers curled around her wine glass, trying to ignore the heaviness she always felt during these gatherings. Just as her father lifted his glass for the annual Christmas toast, her younger brother, Evan, scraped his chair loudly and stood up. "All right, everyone," he announced, waving his phone like he was about to make a business presentation. "I need Maya to pay for my Hawaii trip." Simple as that. The whole table froze. Maya blinked, convinced she heard him wrong. Their father smirked like he had been waiting for this moment. "If you say no," he said calmly, "don't come back to this house again." Maya slowly set her glass down and looked at both of them. Her mother nodded along, lips pressed in a tight line, as if they had rehearsed this conversation all week. The cousins stared. Her aunt coughed uncomfortably. Evan crossed his arms, waiting for her reaction like a spoiled king expecting tribute. Maya felt a wave of heat climb up her neck so fast she almost laughed at the absurdity. "So that's how this goes?" she asked quietly. Evan shrugged. "It's just 22,000. Don't be dramatic." Her father raised a brow. "You heard your brother." Maya inhaled deeply, pushed her chair back and whispered, "Then goodbye, and good luck with your mess." She stood up without grabbing her coat, walked straight through the front door into the -20-degree Chicago night, snow hitting her face like tiny needles. For the first time in years she felt something close to clarity. The cold slammed into Maya like a wall, but she welcomed it. She crossed the driveway, breath puffing in the air, hands numb but her mind strangely calm. She slid into her old sedan and let the engine cough awake. The heater had been broken for weeks, but she didn't care, not tonight. As she drove through the frozen Chicago streets, she realized her teeth weren't chattering. Her shoulders weren't tight. Her chest wasn't buzzing with guilt or obligation. It felt as if the invisible rope her family had tied around her for 3 long years had finally loosened, then snapped completely. "Finally," she whispered to herself. The memory of it all rushed back. The way everything began the night Evan totaled his car doing 98 on the expressway. She remembered the 2:14 a.m. call, her brother crying into the phone, their mother sobbing on the 3-way line, both insisting he would be homeless without a car. By sunrise, Maya had been standing at a Ford dealership, handing over nearly $30,000 for a Mustang he didn't deserve, all so he could start fresh. Now she gripped the steering wheel, feeling every decision she had made for him weigh on her shoulders, and then fall away. Snowflakes drifted across her windshield like tiny white feathers. Maya whispered, "No more," and for the first time in years she believed herself. When she reached her apartment, she pulled into the garage and sat silently in the dark car. The phone in her pocket buzzed once, her mother calling, but Maya didn't answer. The silence felt like oxygen. She closed her eyes and finally exhaled. Inside her dim apartment, Maya dropped her keys on the counter and let her bag slide to the floor. She opened her banking app with trembling fingers, expecting guilt to stop her like it always had. But the emotion never came. Instead, she tapped each recurring charge tied to Evan's name. "Car insurance," she murmured. "Delete. Phone plan. Delete. Storage unit. Delete. Gym membership, streaming services, mailbox. Delete, delete, delete." Every financial leash she had allowed him to attach to her, gone in under 3 minutes. She sat on her couch, wrapped in a thin blanket, listening to the soft hum of the refrigerator. The space felt bigger than it ever had before. She made a cup of coffee, warm steam rising into the cold air, and watched the snow fall in thick sheets outside her window. No notifications buzzed. No emergencies materialized. Her mother didn't call again. Neither did Evan. It felt unreal, like the world had stopped expecting something from her for the first time in her adult life. She curled her legs under her and whispered, "This is mine. This moment is mine." She finished her coffee slowly, savoring the unfamiliar peace. Hours later, as she prepared for bed, she half expected her phone to explode with angry messages. But the screen stayed dark and silent. She climbed under the blankets, the room quiet except for the distant hum of traffic outside. When sleep came, it was heavy, dreamless, and uninterrupted. Maya woke the next morning with sunlight on her face, realizing this was the first night she had slept straight through in years. No more, she whispered again, letting the new truth settle into her bones. 3 days later, Maya was standing in line at a downtown cafe when her phone jolted violently in her coat pocket. The screen flashed Evan, calling. She declined it. It rang again immediately. By the time she picked up her latte, he had called her 12 times. By the time she reached her office, the number had climbed to 57. Text after text rolled in like a storm. Evan, what did you do? Evan, the trip is gone. Evan, pick up your phone. Maya placed her phone face down on her desk. A new notification slid across the screen. Derek, one of Evan's old friends, had messaged her. Derek, well, cold-blooded. You really let your own brother get humiliated? She didn't bother opening the rest. Hours later, her mother tried FaceTiming her. Maya declined. Her mother called again. Then again. On the third attempt, Maya finally answered. Her mother's mascara was already smeared. Maya, do you understand what you've done? Evan is destroyed, she cried. The resort emailed him saying the money never arrived. His friends are laughing at him. Your father is furious, he hasn't come out of his office all day. His blood pressure is up again. Maya stared at her quietly. You're going to put your father in the hospital, her mother continued breathlessly. Maya waited for the punch of guilt to hit. But nothing came. We're done here, Maya said softly and ended the call. Moments later, her father sent a text in all caps. Fix this or you're no daughter of mine. The family group chat lit up with insults, screenshots and accusations. Cousins she hadn't spoken to in years typed paragraphs about family loyalty. Maya slowly blocked every single one. That night, Maya poured herself a glass of red wine and finally listened to one of Evan's 19 voicemails. His voice blasted through the speaker, loud and venomous. I had everything planned, Maya. Flights, villas, excursions. I told people at work. Now I gotta walk in tomorrow and tell everyone that you ruined my trip because you're selfish. He didn't pause once. You made me look like a joke. I swear I will never forgive you for this. Maya deleted the voicemail without reacting. At 10:47 p.m., a new message came in from her younger sister, Lily, a number she hadn't heard from directly in years. Wow, Maya. You really are the most evil person in this family. Evan is crying in the driveway. Hope you're proud. Maya stared at the message with an emotionless face. Lily had always coddled Evan, always acted like he deserved the world handed to him. Maya deleted the text and blocked her too. When the apartment finally fell silent, the absence of noise felt surreal. No buzzing. No guilt. No late-night crises. She washed her wine glass, turned off the lights, and stood in the dark living room listening to the soft hum of the city outside. This is what peace feels like, she whispered. That night, Maya slept again without waking once. 4 days later, Maya's phone buzzed again, this time with a message from an unknown number. She opened it slowly, expecting more insults. Instead, it was a video sent by Lily. The thumbnail showed a snowy parking lot at night, orange streetlights glowing against the ice. Maya tapped the screen. The moment the video started playing, she recognized the scene. Evan stood barefoot in the freezing snow, wearing nothing but gray pajama pants, screaming at two repo men as they chained his Mustang to a flatbed truck. That's my car, he shouted, slipping and sliding across the icy pavement. You can't just take it. I have money coming tomorrow, I swear. One of the repo men held up a clipboard calmly. Sir, this is a repossession order. Step back. Evan lunged forward, slipped hard and fell flat on his back with a hollow smack. The tow truck began rolling forward while he lay there screaming, fists pounding into the snow. The Mustang's red taillights disappeared into the dark. The video ended on Evan's raw, broken scream echoing across the lot. Lily added a text right after. He woke up the whole building. I'm crying. Faced with tears of joy, Maya watched the clip again, then once more with the sound off. A cold, sharp feeling washed through her chest. Not guilt, not pity. Something closer to justice. She whispered, "You did this to yourself," and placed her phone face down on the counter. Outside, snow continued falling softly. Inside, Maya felt steady, almost calm. 3 days later, Lily sent a flood of screenshots like she was giving live updates on a reality show. Maya had barely sipped her morning coffee when the first one appeared. It showed a long list of credit card notifications, new charges, huge ones, Made within 72 hours. First-class tickets to Hawaii. A new 5-bedroom villa on the Big Island. Sunset cruises. A volcano helicopter tour. Chef dinners for 12. Total charges, $20,400. The next screenshot showed an email from their mother. Urgent. Call me now. Another message appeared. A photo of their old dining room table, papers scattered everywhere like evidence. Their father sat hunched over, hand shaking as he signed a home equity line of credit application. Across the top of the folder in their mother's sharp handwriting were the words, Jackson, Hawaii, emergency. Except the emergency was entirely self-made. Maya stared at the picture for a long time. The table she had eaten every holiday meal on looked like a crime scene. She could almost hear her father muttering, "It's just a temporary setback," while her mother whispered about saving Evan's reputation. Lily kept sending updates like she was gleefully narrating a downfall. The final screenshot came hours later. A denial letter from the bank. The refinance was rejected. Credit scores too low, recent derogatory activity, missed mortgage payments, repossession on file. Maya read the letter twice. Then she put her phone down and simply whispered, "This is the beginning." She made tea, sat on the couch and let the snow fall outside without saying a word. By February, their family situation had turned into a slow-motion disaster. Lily sent Maya another message, a screen recording of the sheriff's foreclosure notice. The envelope was thick, stamped final notice in bold red letters. Total amount owed, more than $300,000. The house Maya grew up in, the red brick one her father once bragged about paying off, was officially scheduled for auction in 38 days. A few hours later, another screenshot arrived. Their mother had begged yet another lender for a last-minute refinance. The reply was brutally short, declined. Unable to proceed. Insufficient credit profile. Lily posted the news to her private story with the caption, "Plot twist of the century." She included a selfie of herself laughing so hard her eyeliner smudged. Maya felt the slightest flicker of old anger, but it faded fast. She simply turned her phone face down again. Meanwhile, Lily somehow kept living like the world wasn't falling apart. She posted videos from a ski resort 3 hours north, hot tub photos, champagne dinners, night skiing clips with captions like, "Living like the foreclosure never happened." Every story had Maya tagged in mocking text. "Guess who indirectly funded this trip? Thanks, sis." Evan joined the live videos from his bedroom, hoodie pulled low, eyes red from crying. "Facts," he said on one live stream. "Love you, Lil." Maya watched one clip for about 10 seconds before closing the app. The avalanche was gaining speed and her little sister was riding it down the mountain while recording every second for clout. Maya took a slow sip of water and whispered, "You all chose this." For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel dragged into their chaos. April arrived and with it came the inevitable. The auction hammer dropped on a cold Tuesday morning at the county courthouse. An investor from Florida bought the family home for barely half its worth. Cash, quick closing, lock scheduled to be changed in 9 days. The same afternoon, Lily sent a photo of 2 U-Haul trucks in the driveway, crammed with whatever belongings they still had left. "They have 48 hours, she wrote. Maya didn't respond. By Thursday night, their parents, Evan and Lily, were checked into a Motel 6 off the interstate. 2 sagging queen beds, flickering fluorescent lights, and a neon vacancy sign blinking through cracked curtains. They paid cash weekly because all their cards were dead. Evan took the night shift waiting tables at a 24-hour diner. Cheap shoes, wrinkled shirt, name tag that said, Evan crookedly. He came home smelling of burnt bacon and desperation. Lily filmed TikToks in the motel bathroom, pretending everything was fine, ring light clamped to the cracked mirror, Starbucks cup in hand. "New chapter energy," she chirped on camera. But the comments were brutal. People mocked the motel wallpaper. They asked why she wasn't helping her parents. Others said she should stop whining and get a job. She deleted the livestream within hours. Their old friend group dropped them both. No more invites. No more, "You coming through?" messages. Just silence. Maya scrolled through the updates one evening and felt something unexpected. Not joy, not cruelty, just distance. Like she was watching strangers from far away. She closed her phone and whispered, "This is no longer my responsibility." Then she made herself dinner and went to bed early, enjoying the quiet. By July, Lily was unraveling online. She posted a 30-second TikTok from the motel bathroom ring light clipped to the mirror. Hoodie 2 sizes too big, voice trembling with fake cheer. POV. Your toxic older sister ruins your entire life because she's jealous you asked for a vacation, she said, blinking dramatically. Like, girl, get over yourself. Evan literally did nothing wrong. In the background you could hear Evan shouting at the TV. Lily continued, we're homeless because of her ego. Pray for us. The comments were vicious. Your sister is a legend. Maybe get a job. Why should she fund your life? Lily responded to hate comments with tears, middle fingers and dramatic sighs, but she kept tagging Maya in every post. Her livestream tips dropped from thousands to under $50. Her brand deals dried up. Her follower count tanked. Even her OnlyFans went silent. One Thursday at 2:17 a.m., Maya's phone lit up with a message from a new number. It was Lily. Maya, I know you blocked me everywhere, but please read this. I found a studio apartment for $900. I just need first month and deposit. Please. I'll pay you back. Things are bad here. Evan cries every night. Mom and Dad fight constantly. I can't breathe. You're the only one who can help. Please. 3 more messages followed rapidly. You can't hate us this much. I looked up to you once. Fine. Rot alone then. Maya stared at the text for 4 seconds, then blocked the number. Hours later, Lily went live again, sobbing. I reached out to the one person who could actually save us, she cried. She ignored me. Guess we'll just die in this motel. The live peaked at 312 viewers. Maya turned off her phone and quietly made breakfast. By late summer, the motel room had become a pressure cooker. With 4 adults living in a space meant for one, tensions exploded daily. Evan worked long overnight shifts at the diner, dragging himself back every morning with pockets full of small bills and the smell of fryer oil soaked into his clothes. Maya heard about everything from Lily's screenshot updates. He's always screaming at Mom, Lily typed once, sending a shaky video of Evan pacing the motel parking lot. He keeps saying one big win will fix everything. That big win became his obsession. Evan discovered online sports betting. A new addiction disguised as hope. Lily's screenshots told the story. Rapid-fire bets, losses stacked on losses, and frantic messages like, one more, I can fix this, typed at 3 a.m. By October he had blown $25,000. Mom pawned her wedding ring to help him chase one last win, then cried herself to sleep afterward. Their father picked up seasonal shifts as a Walmart greeter, standing 8 hours a day in a blue vest, smiling at strangers. Lily filmed him once, eyes tired, shoulders slumped. This is your fault, she wrote to Maya. Look at Dad. You did this. Maya didn't reply. She simply closed the message and placed her phone face down. That night she sat by her fireplace, letting the quiet wash over her. She whispered aloud, they are choosing this. Not me. And she believed it completely. 6 weeks later, Lily finally snapped. One morning she stuffed 3 trash bags with clothes, grabbed her ring light, kissed her mother on the cheek and said, I can't live like this anymore. She left with a 26-year-old music producer she met on TikTok Live. Lily posted a goodbye video from the passenger seat of the producer's car. New beginnings, she sang, waving a peace sign. But soon after, screenshots arrived again, this time from mutual friends. Lily and the producer were crashing on his cousin's couch in Aurora, arguing loudly about whose turn it was to buy ramen. Maya read the messages without emotion. Then unexpectedly an envelope arrived at Maya's apartment. Thick, bent, stamped from Joliet Trailer Park. Inside was a 12-page letter, written in shaky handwriting she recognized instantly. It was her mother. Page after page blamed Maya for everything. You let your family drown, her mother wrote. You abandoned us. You broke your father's heart. You ruined your brother. You made your sister run. Near the end, a single paragraph in Lily's handwriting appeared. Everything we lost is because you were too selfish to help. I hope every Christmas you spend alone tastes like ash. You killed this family. A tear stain had dried on the page. Maya read the whole letter once, standing barefoot in her kitchen, snow drifting gently outside the window. When she finished, she folded the pages neatly, walked to the fireplace, turned the gas burner on low and held the corner of the letter to the flame. The pages curled black one by one. Lily's last sentence burned first. Maya watched until the final scrap turned to ash. That night, after the ashes cooled, Maya cooked herself a steak and opened a bottle of wine she had been saving for no particular reason. She set the table for one, placed a single candle in the center, and let soft jazz play from a small speaker on the counter. It felt peaceful. No buzzing phone. No emergencies. No financial disasters disguised as family needs. She cut into the steak, savoring each bite. When she finished dinner, she washed her plate slowly, enjoying the quiet rhythm of the running water. Later, she curled up on her couch wrapped in a warm blanket, watching the snow glitter outside her large windows. She whispered, "This is the first real Christmas I've ever had." For once, her heart didn't feel heavy. It felt free. She realized she no longer felt responsible for everyone else's chaos. She no longer felt guilty for wanting peace. The invisible weight her family had placed on her shoulders had finally fallen away. She fell asleep early that night with a small smile on her face, the soft glow of the fireplace reflecting against the walls. Maya had ended an era of emotional debt, and stepped into a new life defined by boundaries, clarity, and calm. Months passed and Maya rebuilt her world carefully. She took long evening walks through her neighborhood, breathing in cold air that felt sharper and cleaner than before. On weekends she read books she had always put aside. She started painting again, a hobby she'd abandoned years earlier when Evan's constant emergencies consumed her time. She found herself laughing more, at movies, at small things, even at quiet moments that once would have scared her. One evening her coworker Emma invited her to a small dinner gathering. Maya hesitated at first but ended up going. The night turned into shared stories, warm conversation, and a feeling Maya hadn't felt in years, belonging without obligation. When she returned home, her apartment felt warm and safe. She made tea, curled up under her blanket, and caught herself smiling at nothing. Her phone lay silent on the table, not because she had turned it off, but because no one was demanding anything from her. One Saturday morning in March, Maya wandered through a local market. Bright tulips lined the stalls, and vendors handed out samples of fresh pastries. A small artist booth caught her eye, paintings of snowy Chicago streets in soft watercolor. She leaned in to admire one when the artist looked up. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he said. Maya nodded. "It reminds me of something I forgot I loved," she replied. The artist smiled warmly. "You should pick it back up then." Maya blinked. "How did you know I paint?" The artist shrugged. "You looked at it like someone who misses making things." She left the market with a small watercolor set tucked into her bag. That afternoon she sat near her window, watching the world outside as snowflakes drifted down gently. Then she opened the watercolor set and began painting. Not for perfection, not for anyone else, just for herself. The colors bled softly onto the paper. Felt like breathing. Spring arrived. One warm April morning, Maya stepped outside onto her small balcony with a cup of coffee. The city felt alive again. Birds chirping, bicycles whizzing by, sunlight glinting off the buildings. Her phone buzzed with a message notification, but she ignored it. She'd learned she didn't owe anyone immediate access to her time or attention. Later that day she attended a work retreat where she presented a project she'd poured her heart into. Her team applauded, her boss smiled proudly, and for the first time, Maya felt recognized for her talent, not for the money she could provide someone else. When she returned home, she checked the message she had ignored earlier. It was from Emma. "Just wanted to say you seem lighter lately. Happier. It's good to see." Maya read it twice. She hadn't realized others could see the change. It made her smile. In late April, Maya received news that her family's trailer had been repossessed after unpaid lot fees. She didn't feel shock. She didn't feel satisfaction either, just distance. Like reading about strangers. She told no one at work. She didn't mention it to Emma. She simply folded the news into her understanding of who they had always been. That evening she walked through a quiet bookstore and bought herself a journal. When she got home she wrote on the first page, "I choose peace. I choose myself." She wrote about boundaries, about the cycle she had broken, about the danger of confusing love with sacrifice. She wrote about how saying no had saved her life. She filled 3 pages before setting the journal aside. She sat on her couch, watching the sunset paint the sky orange and pink. For the first time she felt fully anchored in her own life, no longer drifting in her family's chaos. The following winter, 1 year after the Christmas blow-up, Maya decorated her apartment with soft white lights and a small pine tree. She baked cookies for her neighbors, attended a charity gala with co-workers, and even joined a holiday book exchange. On Christmas Eve she cooked a beautiful dinner for herself. Her favorite dishes, not the ones her family always demanded. She set her table with gold-rimmed plates and lit 3 candles. As she sat down she whispered, "Merry Christmas, Maya." The evening was warm, quiet, and full of small joys. Music, good food, and the soft crackle of her fireplace. She didn't think of Evan. She didn't wonder where Lily was. She didn't picture her parents in the cold. Instead she thought of the girl she used to be, the one who gave until she had nothing left. And then she raised her glass to the woman she had become. Late that night Maya stepped out onto her balcony. Snow fell in soft spirals from the dark sky, settling lightly on her hair and shoulders. She wrapped her arms around herself and breathed in the cold air. The city glowed beneath her, silent, peaceful, steady. She thought of the last 12 months. The motel room, the repossessions, the chaos, the screaming, the endless demands. Then she thought of the quiet inside her apartment. The steady warmth. The space she had built just for herself. Her phone buzzed once on the counter inside. The first buzz in hours, but she didn't move to check it. She didn't need to. She whispered into the night, "I didn't lose a family. I lost a burden." Snowflakes landed softly on her eyelashes. She closed her eyes and let the peace settle over her like a blanket. Inside, her fireplace glowed warmly. Maya stepped back into her home, closed the balcony door and locked it gently behind her. The chapter was closed. Her life, quiet, whole, and finally hers, had just begun. Moral lesson. Setting boundaries isn't betrayal, it's protection. Love without limits becomes self-destruction. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from the people who refuse to save themselves. Thanks you for watching, and please remember to tell us where you are watching from today. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more of this.